Today is a terrible day for me because today is my first day being unemployed. The company I worked for had been struggling for a while. Business was getting harder, costs were increasing. And like many companies trying to survive an uncertain economy, they began cutting expenses. Then they started cutting employees. And I was one of them. My name is Tu. I'm 25 years old. I live in Hanoi, Vietnam. And right now, I have no job, no monthly salary, and no idea how long this situation will last. This is my first day of unemployment. Welcome to my life. Hanoi wakes up early. By the time I open my curtains, thousands of people are already on their way to work. The roads are full of motorbikes. Buses move slowly through the morning traffic. Street vendors are preparing breakfast. Coffee shops are serving their first customers. Parents are taking their children to school. Office workers are checking the time, hoping they will not arrive late. The city looks exactly the same as it did yesterday. Busy, crowded, alive. The only difference is that today I'm no longer part of the morning rush. Yesterday I had somewhere to go. Today, I'm just standing by my window, watching everybody else leave. This is one of the strangest things about losing a job. The world does not stop with you. The traffic does not become quieter. The sun does not rise later. The city does not care that your life has suddenly changed. Everything continues, except your routine. I tell myself that the day has started, even though I do not really know what I am starting it for. I brush my teeth and wash my face. Everything feels normal. The same toothbrush, the same sink, the same face in the mirror. For years, mornings were preparation for something. I got ready because I needed to go to work. I checked the time because I could not be late. I chose my clothes because other people would see me. But this morning, no one is waiting for me. There is no office, no meeting, no manager asking when I will arrive, no message from a colleague. I am getting ready, but I have nowhere to go. Still, I think it is important to get out of bed. Unemployment can slowly change the way you see yourself. At first, you tell yourself that it is only temporary. Then a few days pass, then a few weeks, you begin waking up later. You stop changing clothes, you avoid answering questions. And without realizing it, you start feeling ashamed of something that was not entirely your fault. I do not want to reach that point. At least not today. The first thing I do after getting ready is open my PC. I check my email. For a few seconds, I feel hopeful. Maybe someone replied to one of my applications. Maybe there is an interview invitation. Maybe a company saw my resume and decided that I was worth speaking to. There are new emails, but none of them are about a job. Advertisements, notifications, discounts for things I should not buy right now. I refresh the inbox one more time, nothing changes. When you are looking for work, checking your email becomes a strange emotional habit. Every notification gives you hope. Every empty inbox feels personal. No one directly tells you that you are not good enough. Most companies do not reject you to your face. They simply remain silent. You send your resume. You wait. You check your email. You wait again. Sometimes silence is the answer. I opened several recruitment websites. The pages are filled with jobs, thousands of them. Marketing, sales, administration, customer service, content creation, office work, part-time work, full-time work. From the outside, it looks like there are opportunities everywhere. But finding a job is not the same as finding a job that can support your life. Some positions require years of experience. Some require skills from several different professions, some salaries barely cover rent, food and transportation in a large city like Hanoi. Some job descriptions are so vague that I cannot understand what the company actually wants. And for every position I apply for, there may be dozens or even hundreds of other people doing exactly the same thing. Vietnam is often described as a fast-growing economy. New buildings keep appearing, new businesses open, shopping centers are crowded, the streets are filled with cars and motorbikes. From the outside, the country seems to be moving forward very quickly. But economic growth does not mean that every person feels secure. Vietnam depends heavily on manufacturing, exports, and international trade. When global demand becomes weaker or businesses become uncertain about the future, companies become more careful. They delay expansion, they reduce expenses, they stop hiring, and sometimes they reduce the number of employees they already have. Behind every sentence like, "the company is restructuring," there are people who suddenly lose their income. It is already late in the morning. Normally, I would have eaten breakfast by now. Vietnam has many affordable and delicious breakfast foods. Pho, sticky rice, banh mi, rice rolls, noodles. On almost every busy street in Hanoi, you can find people sitting on small plastic stools, eating something warm before work. But today, I do not go out for breakfast. I make myself a drink instead. It is not really a meal, but it fills my stomach for a while. When you still receive a salary every month, a small breakfast does not feel like an important financial decision. When you are unemployed, it does. You begin calculating everything, how much money is left, how many days could it last, which expenses are necessary, which things can be delayed, which meal could be made smaller. I am not starving. I still have a place to sleep. I still have some savings, but I do not know when I will earn money again. And uncertainty changes the value of every small amount. A cheap breakfast is still money. One drink is still money. 30,000 dong is still money. So this morning, I drink instead of eating. While I make myself a drink, I can't help thinking about what it means to be unemployed at 25. 25 is a difficult age to start over. You're no longer a fresh graduate, but you're still expected to build your career. For many young women, job interviews can feel even more stressful. Sometimes employers don't just ask about your skills or experience. They ask if you plan to get married in the next couple of years. They ask if you're planning to have a baby. I understand why they ask. They're trying to reduce the company's risk. But as the person sitting in that interview, it can feel like you're being judged for a future that hasn't even happened yet. Right now, I'm not thinking about marriage. I'm not thinking about having children. I'm just hoping someone will give me a chance to work again. Lately, I've been feeling stressed more often. Not just because I lost my job, but because I'm 25. At this age, it feels like everyone around me is moving forward. Some of my friends are getting promoted. Some are buying their first apartment. Some are getting married. Some are already starting their own families. And then there's me, starting over. Sometimes I can't help comparing myself to them. I know everyone has a different timeline. But on difficult days, it's hard not to wonder if I'm falling behind. Maybe that's the hardest part of being unemployed. It's not only the uncertainty about finding another job. It's the feeling that while everyone else is moving forward, you're standing still. After staring at job listings for hours, my head starts to feel heavy. There comes a point where reading one more job description doesn't really help. So I stop. Whenever I feel overwhelmed, I usually clean my room. Before I lost my job, my days looked very different. I left home around 7:30 in the morning and usually didn't get back until 6 p.m. After spending the whole day at the office, I was often too tired to do anything else. Sometimes I just wanted to take a shower, eat dinner, and go straight to bed. So little by little, the room became messy. There was always something to clean, but never enough energy. Now I finally have the time to do it. It's funny. When my room feels cleaner, my mind usually feels a little lighter too. One question I received after my last video was, if you're already working, why do you still rent instead of buying a home? It's a fair question. For many young people in Vietnam, especially in big cities like Hanoi, owning a home has become much more difficult than it used to be. Housing prices have risen much faster than incomes over the years. So many young adults choose to rent while they save money or wait until they are financially more stable. The World Bank has also highlighted the growing need for more affordable housing in Vietnam as cities continue to expand. For me, renting also gives me flexibility. Right now, I don't even know where my next job will be. So buying a home isn't my biggest goal at the moment. Finding stable work is. Cleaning my room will help me find a job, but it reminds me that I can still take care of the little things. And maybe that's enough for today. After cleaning the room, I realize that it is already lunchtime. I decide to go outside and buy something to eat. In Vietnam, especially during the summer, the sunlight can be extremely strong. Even for a short trip, many people cover their arms, faces, and legs before going outside. It may look like I am preparing for a long journey, but I'm only going to buy banh mi. For many people in Vietnam, banh mi is one of the easiest meals to find. It is quick, affordable, portable. And when it is made well, it is one of the best street foods in the country. A Vietnamese banh mi usually begins with a light, crispy baguette. The outside breaks slightly when you bite into it. The inside is soft. Depending on the seller, it may be filled with pork, pate, Vietnamese sausage, egg, grilled meat, or chicken. Then come the vegetables, cucumber, fresh herbs, pickled carrot and daikon, chili, sauce. Every shop makes it a little differently. Some banh mi are simple. Some are filled with so many ingredients that it is difficult to close the bread. You can eat one for breakfast, for lunch late at night, or while walking through the city. Banh mi is not only popular with tourists. It is part of everyday life here. Students eat it, office workers eat it, drivers eat it. People buy it when they are busy, when they want something affordable, or when they simply want something good. Today, I buy it because it is cheaper than sitting down for a full meal. 30,000 dong is not a lot of money. But when you do not know when your next salary will arrive, even lunch becomes a calculation. I am not choosing the most expensive thing I want. I'm choosing something good that still fits inside the amount I'm allowing myself to spend today. After buying the banh mi, I stop for a cup of sugar cane juice. In Vietnam, we call it nuoc mia. It costs 15,000 dong. The seller feeds long sugar cane stalks into a pressing machine. The rollers crush the cane and squeeze out the juice. It comes out pale green, sweet and fresh. Many sellers add a small piece of kumquat or citrus to balance the sweetness. Then they pour it over ice. On a hot day in Vietnam, nuoc mia is difficult to resist. It is sold on sidewalks, near markets, outside schools. Besides small restaurants and along busy roads, you do not need to enter a cafe. You do not need to wait very long. You can stop, pay a small amount, and walk away with something cold and refreshing. It is one of those very ordinary Vietnamese drinks that can make the heat feel easier for a few minutes. Banh mi and woc mia are both simple. Neither one is expensive, but together they remind me that affordable food can still be delicious. My banh mi costs about $1.15 and the sugar cane juice is around 60 cents. So my entire lunch costs about $1.70. It is not the cheapest lunch possible. I could have eaten instant noodles in my room, but today has already felt heavy. So I allow myself one cold drink. Unemployment makes you feel guilty about spending money, even when the amount is small. But for a few minutes, walking home with a warm banh mi and a cold cup of ngoc mia, the day feels slightly less terrible. Sometimes that is worth. Around me, Hanoi is in the middle of its lunch break. Office workers are leaving buildings in small groups. Some sit together at local restaurants. Some order food to their offices. Some use the short break to drink coffee and talk. They will return to work afterward. I return to my PC.
And audience retention. The higher these metrics are, the more YouTube will recommend your video to new people. The secret to success on YouTube is to make videos that people click and watch until the end. Delegating the work. Because delegating is the best way to expand. Don't expect a linear road. You will find obstacles to overcome.
I eat the banh mi at my desk while opening the recruitment websites again. The bread is crispy, the filling is savory. The pickled vegetables are slightly sour. The chili is stronger than I expected. The sugar cane juice is cold and sweet. It is a good lunch. But I do not fully enjoy it. My attention is divided between the food and the screen. I wonder how many people are doing the same thing today. Sitting in small rooms, refreshing email inboxes, changing resumes, searching for ways to earn money online, trying not to panic. Another company reduced its staff. Another young person is trying to explain the situation to their parents. Another person is pretending not to be worried. We may never meet each other. But for a while, we are living the same kind of day. While eating my banh mi, I watch videos about how to make money online, freelancing, selling products, affiliate marketing. Making videos, every video makes it sound simple. All you need is a phone, a laptop, and some free time. I have all three. But turning free time into money is not as easy as it looks. Some methods require skills, some require money to begin, and some may not work at all. Still, I keep watching. Right now, I am unemployed. So even a small possibility feels worth exploring. After lunch, I take the clothes I soaked earlier and wash them. This is probably the most productive thing I have done today. At least tomorrow, I will have clean clothes. The strange thing about unemployment is that you suddenly have a lot of time, but that time does not feel free. When I had a job, I wanted more time. I wanted slower mornings. I wanted afternoons without meetings. I wanted days when no one asked me to do anything. Now I have those things, but I cannot enjoy them. Because free time feels different when it is not your choice. Rest feels good when you know you can return to work. Without that certainty, rest begins to feel like waiting. If you are also unemployed, struggling financially, or feeling left behind in life, I want you to know that you are not alone. Losing a job does not mean you have lost your value. A silent inbox does not mean you are not capable. And taking longer to find your way does not mean you have failed. Sometimes surviving a difficult day is already an achievement. You do not have to solve your entire life today. You only need to do the next small thing. Send one application. Eat something. Clean one corner of your room. Talk to someone you trust. Then give yourself permission to rest. I hang the last shirt on the line. The clothes moved gently in the afternoon wind. Today did not give me a new job. It did not give me a clear answer, but I made it through my first day of unemployment. Tomorrow I will continue searching. And if you are going through the same thing, I hope you will continue too. We may not know when life will become easier, but for now, let us take it one day at a time.